Let's get into the heavy hitters then, Charlie. You talked about it in the half spaces, and for me, I mean, to see Schwanier at his pop, I don't think there's another player really for Forge, and we could name many, that when he is flying and on form, how much he makes them better. And he, we saw again how brilliant he was against Vancouver. He really likes playing them. I got some stats on these players: Becker, Hajabrapor, Borges, Badibanger, and Schwanier, the 5 players that you consistently want to play aside from your back 4. And we know that they've had some issues finding that number 9, but they started a league match for the first time, all 5 of them, since July 14th. I got some stats in particular when they've been on the field this season. When starting this season, Forge are 6 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss, and they've outscored their opponents 18-7 when the fearsome 5 start. When they don't start, 7 wins, 3 draws, 5 losses, but they have outscored just 24-21. A lot of that means that when they're on the field, which has been almost 33% of the season this year, they're 15-8 in their goals difference, which is a goal every 47 minutes. And they concede 1 every 89. When they're not on the field, which has been 67% of the time together, they score 1 every 54 and concede 1 every 72. So I think they don't tell us they already tell us what we already know, Charlie, but it does just speak to the strength of what they have. And when all 5 of them are on the field, which is obviously just the first time now in over 2 months, that it obviously is a great time for Forge to start to get their big soldiers back.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's kind of a perfect storm of blessings for Forge to obviously have those players in the first place, to have them have been together for long enough that they work so well together, and to have them all healthy at this point of the year. As you mentioned, there are genuine questions in this Forge lineup, and most notably, who is the number 9, whether that's Badibanger, as he's done that role a couple of times, or it's Kone or Jordan Hamilton, Taryn Campbell, whatever. I don't think they're ever, very afraid of any game if those 5 players are in there. Yeah. I know the last couple of weeks, we see Noah Jensen come into the side, and he scores 2 goals in that one game. Was it Pacific? I think
that's right.
And there's always moments in a season where it's like, oh, is it time for Kyle Becker to be maybe a substitute or maybe not start every game? But then he comes back in and he's like, no, that's not the case. Yeah. Kyle Becker remains Kyle Becker, and just maybe isn't as flashy as he once was in this Forge team, but he knows his role. He knows how best to get, he knows how to get the best out of himself in this team, and that's by making the Schwaniers, the Borges in particular, the Badibangas better. And I think that is really the key part to this team, is that they know that they don't, Schwanier, Badibanga, Borges, their moments are all going to come in attack, but they all also know what they need to do to create space for the others, because it's kind of a cycle. It goes both ways. They know that if they set something up and take the selfless role with a run on another player, it's going to come back for them, and they're going to score their own later.
Yeah, at the end of the day, Becker is still so valuable for the team because there's not another Becker in the CPL. There's not a player like that who can just take over the game in terms of running the tempo and the control of it. And Forge are way better when he starts from the start. And obviously they've managed his minutes now as he gets the business end of the season. And I fully expect him to play the majority of the way forward.